Hi, welcome to another edition of our EasyCare Paint podcast. My name is Dan Reed. I'm your National Training Manager for True Value Manufacturing.
And I'm Sean Henson, a Senior Instructional Designer with True Value University. So what are we doing this month, Dan?
Well, this month's all about EasyCare UltraPremium. Last month was about EasyCare Limitless, so this month let's take a next product line. I don't want to say
That makes
down,
sense.
our next one.
Yep, just the next one.
Next one.
Just
and
a different.
Difference,
Yes, that's all.
And we're going to go over that. And main goal is we're going to give you guys ways to sell it, places to sell it, and ways to sell it. Because one of the big questions I get a lot is, you know, how do I sell that over the cheaper stuff? My customers just want cheap. And so we're going to give you some things you can use, some tools to sell EasyCare UltraPremium.
Yes, excellent. And I believe we even have a guest from across the pond.
We have a across the pond guest. That is pretty.
Yes.
It's a good guest.
This is how we become an international podcast.
This is now international, so we're kind of big time.
Yes.
You know. So
Excellent.
Stay tuned for more. So we're back, and welcome. What's up with you, Sean? What's new? You got anything going on?
Well, actually, we're getting ready for market, which will just be in a couple of weeks.
We are. This one, you know, it's the beginning of March, and we'll be heading to sunny Orlando in a couple of weeks. I can't wait.
Absolutely.
Can't wait to go to Orlando. I can't wait to see all our retailers. Yeah.
It'll be a little different, you know, and if you're accustomed to finding TVU at market, we don't have a theater on the floor as we had before, but there is still lots of training opportunities that actually happen the day before the floor opens. So please come for that. But we do still have a booth. So if you're looking for TVU, you can still come and find us. We have some new role-based curriculums, so like for cashiers and sales floor people.
Donut rolls?
Donut rolls? That would be, we should have donuts.
Yeah.
Well, we will have candy. So we have some new things to roll out. We would love to talk to you, and you can, on your way to finding us, you'll run into EasyCare first.
You come in door 6, and that's the True Value end of the market. And we're not True Value Manufacturing. It's not in the paint part, but we're right by Discount City. And what's the other pallet program and pallet power or whatever?
Yes, and Bargain Burners are over there. So we're tucked in behind Bargain Burners.
Just watch the smoke from Bargain Burners.
Yes,
and go over there. So make sure and come to see us. If you come in door 6, you're right by us. We'd love to see you. A lot of great deals going on at market. I guess I'll throw one thing out there that every one of you stores should do is the pick your own hot buy, or retailer's choice as we call it. It's you pick your paint item, an applicator item, a spray paint item, and a chemical item. You can pick any of them, all of them, one of them, and it's as much or as little as you want and 20% off. Why would
that
every
sounds
store
great.
do that? I mean,
Absolutely.
you want to do 8 gallons, do 8
Just
gallons.
stock up, yeah.
And throw 20% on it. So make sure you stop and see that. So let's get back into the podcast. You know, last month, we talked about EasyCare Limitless, and how it gave one coat coverage, and that's how you sold it to your customer is, if you ask them, hey, would you like a product that can guarantee you one coat coverage? I got this Limitless, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And so now let's move on to EasyCare UltraPremium.
Okay.
Right? So one big question I always get when I talk to retailers is, you've got Limitless, you got UltraPremium, you got Everyday. How do I sell to who, and what do I sell to who?
Well, that's an excellent question. And then as the customer, so if I'm walking into a store, how do I even know what kind of paint I need?
Right. And so you need, as a retailer, you need to be able to answer that question. So,
Because most customers probably don't know what they want.
They don't know. If you're lucky, the customer knows what color they want. In many cases, if you don't help them, they're just going to pick the cheapest, right? So
Yeah, well, but as long as it's got paint and primer in there, that's good, right?
Oh my gosh, you sound like a typical customer. Well, paint and primer started back in 2006 from Behr Paint. They came out with paint and primer in one.
So they were pouring paint and primer into one
you know,
can?
I still remember the marketing they did. They did million, you know, I don't remember the dollar amount, but it was a lot of dollars amounts that they put as far as marketing. And in the ads, they had pouring both paint and primer, and
Makes
acted
perfect
like
sense.
yeah,
It's like shampoo and conditioner in one.
it is like Pearl.
Yes.
Remember they dropped the-
Bro.
But if you remember, you know, that's how they did it, and they wanted people to think that that's how they were making it. When in reality, every paint company back then, I was here then, I was a paint rep at the time. Every single paint company did the same thing. They changed their labels to say paint and primer in one.
Oh, wow. So this is like magic.
It's got like, wow,
Yeah.
now it's a paint and primer in one. Well, but all it really means is that it's a good 100% acrylic paint that in some cases can be used as a primer coat. You know, if you have stains, maybe you have a glossy surface, maybe you're using a dark color or you're going over a dark color or a drastic color change, you really need to use a special primer.
So is the primer inherently made differently from a paint?
Great question. Yes. You know, paint is made to hide, but it's supposed to wash, scrub, clean, do all those things, you know. You know, a primer is really designed to create a paintable surface. So it seals the surface and doesn't let stains or anything like that come out. And it also makes it so that it's got even porosity, so your paint soaks in at an even rate and leaves an even color and sheen.
Okay, so like if I had new drywall and I've got mud in parts of it,
Yep.
and then it's
Then
just bare drywall in other
Yeah,
parts.
that mud is not going to absorb the paint or soak it in as much, whereas the drywall itself, the paint will soak in. So it'll be lighter there and duller. You know, the shine isn't as much, and on the mud it'll be shinier and darker. So,
That makes sense.
well, you know, let's go back to EasyCare UltraPremium.
Okay, yeah, that's right. That's the
You know,
focus
we'll
of
get
this episode.
back to task here,
Yeah,
but
stay on task.
fantastic. We have trouble with that, but it has more outside recommendations or accreditations, I should say, than any other paint.
Okay, so well, what do you mean by that?
Well, it's got a few of them. It's approved by the Asthma and Allergy Foundation of America, MPI, which stands for Master Painters Institute, Green Guard, Green Wise Gold, LEED, all of those outside of certifications.
Oh, excellent. Well, that is a lot of accreditations.
It is.
But what do you mean by outside accreditations? Is that, I mean, you can only use the paint outside?
No. They only stand outside to give it to us. No, that's a good question too. But many companies self-accreditate, meaning that they'll make up the accreditation. You know, like no, whatever, super green, or greener than green, and well, they just made it up. It doesn't mean
Certainly.
anything. It's be kind of like myself giving myself an accreditation to be young and skinny, and well, that wouldn't work out so well.
Well, it could if we weren't doing these video ones.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, and when it was audio,
Then we could
I
both
could
be
got away
young
with
and
it.
skinny. We need to make avatars for ourselves.
That's
And
an
then,
avatar
yeah.
would be good. I think we're gonna have to do that. So, but I'm not gonna spend a lot of time on all these accreditations, but I do want to touch base on one of them, and that's the Asthma and Allergy certification.
Oh, well, that sounds like a good one to have.
That is a great one to have. There's only 3 paints in the U.S. that has this accreditation, and True Value Manufacturing actually makes 2 of them. They're the same paint and different labels.
Okay, what's the other one?
Well, I don't want to give them a shout out here. I don't want to market
Absolutely,
for
here
them.
we'll cover the microphone.
Yeah, I don't want. But all I'll say is that can of paint is twice the price of EasyCare UltraPremium.
Ah,
So Ultra Premium has something nobody else has, and definitely at a reasonable price.
absolutely, that sounds great.
It is great. And so let's talk a little about the Asthma and Allergy Foundation. So
Oh, yes. What is this? Because the asthma and allergy friendly certification program?
Right.
Right?
Right.
So where did that come from?
Well, we talked earlier about the guest from across the pond.
That's right, we did.
And let's just hold that question. We're going to ask her that.
Okay.
Because she's from the Allergy Standards, which works with the Asthma and Allergy Foundation of America. And so we'll talk to her about that, and then how all that testing is done too.
That sounds like a great idea.
So now you know all the accreditations that we have on EasyCare UltraPremium. So how do you use them to sell more paint to your customers?
Well, that is the $64,000 question.
Well, if you have Limitless, that's just step one. Hey, do you want one coat coverage? You go to Limitless, right? But now, maybe you don't carry Limitless, or or maybe they don't care that much about one coat coverage, right? So what I would ask is, do you have anybody in your household that has asthma or allergies? And if they say yes, say, I've got the perfect paint for you.
Well, because even if maybe they would have liked Limitless and it's available, but that particular question might steer them toward Ultra Premium anyway,
Exactly.
because it could be an important thing for them to have.
And to me, the key thing is getting them in the right paint.
Yeah, absolutely.
No.
So that way they keep coming back for more paint.
Right. You want to become your town and your store's trusted paint expert. Sell the right stuff. Don't be afraid to up or down sell anybody. Make sure they get the right product for the right job.
Absolutely.
But there's currently over 65 million people in the U.S. that have asthma. And I don't know the number on allergies, but it's definitely higher than that.
Because I've got people in my house. My wife has severe asthma and allergy, and actually right now I bought some paint because I need to paint the stairwell, one of the interior stairwells, and I wouldn't have bought that paint now. I bought Ultra Premium because I already know from past experience with her that she can handle that. She can be okay. Otherwise, I'd have to wait until we could either open all of the windows and doors in the house, or until she could go away for a day or so.
So you bought it, you just need to do it.
I just need to do it. Well, yes, there's that. But I wouldn't have even bought the paint if I didn't know that this existed.
Right, it makes sense.
Yeah.
So maybe they got somebody with asthma and allergy that live in their house, they can help them paint now.
Yes.
And before, that person could get out of the painting because, hey, I got allergies.
That's true, they can't get out of it.
Now you can't get them out, so they can make them help paint. I like that.
Yeah, that's amazing.
So if you think about it, anywhere people, are,
So not just your house.
not just your home.
There's other places. Yeah, that could open up other markets.
I like the way you think. So think about that too. So if you've got somebody that comes in and they're going to paint a school or a nursing home or assisted living, office buildings, hospitals, doctor's office, think of all of those I just said. Ultra Premium is a perfect paint for all of them. And I would assume most of you out there have people that come in and buy things for all of those. Talk to them about EasyCare Ultra Premium having the asthma and allergy certification that they could take and paint while they're open, especially if they think about an assisted living or a nursing home. They wouldn't have to shut down a whole wing of the place to paint. This gives you many places to try and sell it, okay? And it's a claim that your competitors can't make, more importantly.
Absolutely.
Now, stay tuned for our special guest, Leah, from the Asthma and Allergy Standards. And she's going to tell us a little bit more about how this all works.
All right, I can't wait.
I keep trying to position so it doesn't look like my head is so much bigger than yours.
I mean, you have a really big head there.
I do.
And you look so much taller. Maybe I got to set up, huh? Yeah, I don't know. So, as I promised earlier, we were going to have a special guest today.
Yes.
And I'm very excited to introduce my friend Leah, and you got to pronounce your last name. I'm going to butcher it.
I was excited to hear you try and pronounce it.
Oh my gosh.
It's McInerney.
That's what I was going to say.
McInerney.
McInerney. That's exactly what I was thinking.
I
Yeah,
knew
very
McInerney
Irish.
Once, a long time ago.
Well, now you know too.
Yes.
Well, welcome to the show, Leah. And where are you from? You're from
I'm from Dublin, Ireland.
Dublin.
Yeah.
Okay. I knew
Yeah.
Ireland, but I wasn't sure what city. So all the way from Dublin, Ireland. She gets the long distance award
Yes.
for our podcast.
Next time though, we'll just come to you.
I
That
think
sounds
that would
better.
make some more sense. I've
Yeah.
always wanted to go to Ireland, so that would
Yeah,
be a good thing.
we're always happy to show people around, come to our town. I look forward to it.
All right, all right. So how long have you been with Asthma and Allergy Foundation?
So I've been working for the program for about 18 months now.
Mhm.
But it's absolutely flow and it kind of feels like a lifetime, but also like I only just started yesterday. But I've learned so much and continue to learn every single day and love working with all of our clients. It's a great job. I'm loving it.
And what's your title?
So my title is Client Success Manager for the Asthma and Allergy Friendly Certification Program.
Yes, and actually, if you could, I know there's like the different organizations and the program. If you could give us a quick rundown of how that partnership works.
Yeah, absolutely. So the Asthma and Allergy Friendly Certification Program is made up of two different organizations. So there's Allergy Standards. So we've developed the standards that underpin the program and carry out the scientific testing. And then we're partnered with the Asthma and Allergy Foundation of America, which is the largest patient advocacy group for asthma and allergies in the US. It's been in business for over 100 years. So the two companies together have formed this amazing program. So we're very much on kind of the scientific side of it and as well on kind of the management side of it. So again, I get to work with all of our clients on a daily basis. And then AFA, we do a lot of the patient advocacy. They're always on the hill. They're trying to educate the community on the importance of how they can manage their asthma and allergies.
Nice. So how did you end up in this role? Where
So, I mean, it kind of felt like the stars aligned. So I had worked in an e-commerce role for about 7 years before this. And it was great, but I'd kind of done my time. I was looking to do something new. And I took a summer off, did some traveling, which was lovely. And then I was looking to get into a new position where I wanted to use the business kind of skills that I have and that I'm good at, but I also wanted to do something that was a bit more focused on making a difference. So I wanted to work with an organization that really are trying to do good in the world. So I happened to come across basically just the spec for this job. And I read it and I instantaneously, you know, when you get a gut feeling about something. So I read this spec and I said, this is the job for me. So I have asthma. I have allergies. I'm also allergic to cats. So as a sidebar, when I read this, I was like, well, this is a very important job. I wish I had known about this years ago. I could have managed my own symptoms a lot better at home. So yeah, I went for it and I got the job. And as I say, it's been the best 18 months ever. And I'm continuing to learn every day. But yeah, asthma and allergy friendly is where I'm meant to be, I think.
you're the perfect person to work there by the sounds of it, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are there products you have then incorporated into your own life as a result of learning about them through the program?
Yeah, for sure. So we're quite lucky that indoor air quality in Ireland isn't as problematic as the States. But even still, like we're quite lucky. We have generally quite good air quality. But I've incorporated an air purifier into my home because that was something that I wasn't really on my radar. And since I've done that, it's made a huge difference. I've also started using a lot more like allergen bedding because that's like dust mites in the bedroom is something that's really rampant for allergies. I haven't done any recent painting yet, but my house is due a renovation. So I'm going to be making sure that I'm using certified and low VOC paint that we can get back into the property as soon as possible. So I'm trying to use the products that I can where possible, but also use all the education that I've learned about the different things that you can do in your home, like vacuuming on a weekly basis and making sure there's no mold and ventilation, all those important kind of tips on IAQ and asthma and allergy management.
So how was this whole foundation, the AFTA Foundation, started? Where did it originate?
So AFA, which is the Asthma and Allergy Foundation of America, is like 100 years old, and they've been doing great work for 100 years. The program was developed in 2006. So our CEO, Dr. John McKeown, he's an ER doctor by profession, and he was having a lot of children coming in all the time with really, really bad asthma attacks. And he would have so many mothers coming in and saying, is there anything that we can do before I don't want to be in here. I don't want to have my child in here having an asthma attack every other week. Never to negate if medication is needed, because if medication is needed, that is very important. But there are so many things that you can do in the environment that make a difference. And he would be, Dr. John would be telling everybody about these things. So like, make sure you're, washing your bedding weekly, make sure you're not using any cleaning products that have really high chemical levels in them, all these things. And they were just scribbling down, taking all these notes, being like, oh my God, this is fantastic information. I didn't know any of this. And then he was like, you should make sure you're using an air purifier, make sure you're doing all the right things. And they were like, this is fantastic to hear this, but it would be amazing if there was like somewhere where we could access this, if there was an approved amount of products that we knew are independently tested, that they're going to be better for our children. And John heard this, and even though he's a doctor, he's also hugely an entrepreneur. And he said, I've got to create this. So in 2006, he worked to develop there's over 50 standards that we test our products against, but developed the science and the standards, and then wanted to bring it to a community that really needs it. So partnered with the Asthma and Allergy Foundation back in 2006 in order to bring the program to life. So all of the standards are, so everything within the program is independently tested to specific standards, and every different category that we test is different. Like every product that we test is different, but it's from those 50 standards. Then the standards are also peer reviewed by a medical board to ensure that they are sound and that they're going to make a difference and they're going to reduce allergen levels and make triggers in the environment better.
Right.
So, yeah.
What are, we know the main thing we're talking about today is paint, of course, right?
Yes.
But what are some other things? You talked about bedding and that. What other categories do you guys test?
So the categories have expanded over time. So we do very much focus on physical goods that can make a difference. So we do a lot in like air purifiers. We do a lot in HVAC systems and making sure that you're using a HVAC system with the correct MERV level. We also do a lot in bedding. We do vacuum cleaners, washing machines, anything that we can really prove that we can reduce or remove the allergen, and also make sure that there's no sensitizing chemicals present at a high percentage. So cleaning products, we have certified laundry detergent, which is amazing. Actually, one of our clients, Renegade, they can their laundry detergent removes allergens at a super low temperature, so you don't need to be up here, which is amazing. Obviously, paint is incredibly important. So first, I kind of started with products within the home. So we've got bedding, allergen barrier, we've got vacuum cleaners, washing machines, all those physical products. But over the last few years, we're really seeing the importance of building materials rising and certified building materials, so that we're building healthy buildings from the ground up. So the key components within that are obviously paint and flooring and also insulation. It's like what's behind the walls, you might not think of it, but it could be there could be chemicals in it that are affecting the air quality. If there's, houses that are too tightly built, there's not enough ventilation. So paint, flooring and insulation are kind of key building materials that we talk about when we say building healthy buildings from the ground up.
Makes sense, like a healthy home.
Exactly.
So to speak.
Exactly.
So let's, our focus, of course, is paint. So
yes.
when a paint wants to become certified, what are the steps? What are the processes to go through to become?
Yes. So we have we carry out a variety of tests for paints to be certified. So a company will come to us and say, we want to get certified. And we've actually had a lot of instances in the past where companies have come to us, undergone the testing. This is not True Value, but we've had other companies come to us and want to get certified, undergo the testing. And unfortunately, the paint might not meet our criteria. So we've had amazing couple of stories where some companies have gone away, retested their formulation, improved it, and come back to us and said, look at what we've done. We've really made an active effort to reduce those chemical levels, and they've been able to get certified. So that's, I mean, I kind of love that because it shows their dedication. But yeah, so there's kind of three main tests that we carry out. So the number one is VOC emissions. So that's volatile organic compounds. So that's the likes of formaldehyde, acetaldehyde. There's a few other ones that we test for. So that would be the first test. But I suppose a point of difference with our certification is that our testing time points. So we test at 0 hours, we test at 24 hours, and then we also test at 336 hours, which is 14 days. So we are constantly evaluating the level of VOCs that are present and making sure that along the way they're not going above our certification thresholds. That's the most important thing.
And I know just from, I'm familiar with some of the other testing that's done, not just with you guys, with other organizations. They don't test at 0. And testing at 0 is you paint it out and you test immediately, correct?
Correct.
And many of those, I think they dry an hour, they dry 2 hours, whatever, and then they start testing when really the VOCs are emitted immediately after painting. So
exactly, particularly if we're, I mean, I think back when this certification began in 2006, it was very much on healthy home, but we are broadening the lens now. It is healthy homes, of course, but it's healthy buildings in general, and we're working with more and more clients that have certified building materials in healthcare spaces, in schools, and for them, being able to get back in as soon as possible is really, really important. So the fact that we test at 0 and we can monitor that, it gives them that additional trust that they can be back in that space and not be concerned.
You just bring up a great point. Like if I'm a hospital, they can't empty out and paint and then come back a day later. They move a patient out of the room, paint the room, put the patient right back in. And it's still wet.
Exactly. And then we also test for any sensitizing chemicals. So we do like a complete review of all the materials that are within the paint to ensure that anything that is present is at a low enough
That's easy for you to say.
low enough level that it's not going to cause any triggers of asthma and allergy in the environment, or is going to have any kind of a harsh effect on a human. And then finally, we also test the performance. So even though we're testing on, of course, we want to make sure that there's no triggers in the environment. We want to make sure there's no chemicals present. At the end of the day, a paint still needs to act like a paint.
Exactly.
So it needs to be
So we can't sink your colored water and pass.
Exactly. So we test for the likes of, the actual performance, so scrubbability, dry time, and adhesion. So we want to offer a healthier choice, but we also want to make sure that it's a well-performing paint.
Does the program do any tracking of sort of sales or adoption? So after a product has received the certification, do those companies see an increase in sales or adoption of those products in their area?
Yeah, absolutely. So for me, I manage all of our clients in the program, and my favorite time is when we have a client that's got a new launch or an entire new client to the program, because I get to onboard them, really give them all the knowledge and explain the program to them and help them to integrate the certification as one of their key points of differentiation for that product. So when I get involved at that stage, I'm generally very embedded with them along the process. So they'll be sharing insights as they go in terms of, we're seeing X percentage sales increase this week, or we're really getting great conversions on our marketing campaign when we're featuring the certification. But we do hear that it does really make a difference and it resonates with people in the marketplace, particularly if we're talking healthy homes. I think health conscious moms is always one that is very familiar with our program. They're our biggest advocates. So that's just an example of one market that it really does resonate with. But yeah, it depends on how forthcoming the client is. But I like to think I've got great relationships with all my clients. So I get it. I get a lot of good insight from it. Yeah.
So the key takeaway for our stores is you've got this product that's been certified by the Asthma and Allergy Foundation. It's safe. There's 65 million people I've heard in the U.S. that have asthma. That doesn't count allergies.
This is actually a horrible statistic. 10 people die every day from asthma
Wow.
in the
Oh.
US.
I have not heard that.
Isn't that awful?
That's
Yeah.
horrible.
Yeah. So
And
there's
if you
more
use the
than
wrong paint, it could kill you.
literally. And as well,
Yeah, I
I
mean, if you
think,
think about it seriously.
Mhm.
yeah, particularly in this day and age, if we're looking at improving your indoor environment, or if for example, if you wanted to do a renovation, but you maybe don't have the funds to do an entire renovation, paint is one of the first things that people turn to.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So they're like, it's just something that will be like, okay, well, we can immediately refresh our home by painting. So using a certified paint is going to make a huge difference to that indoor environment, and make sure that they're not breathing in chemicals, and that, I think there's a huge education piece in it still. I'm educating every day on the importance of good indoor air quality. And unfortunately, I hate to say it, but the problem is getting worse, not better. Indoor air pollution is increasing. The number of people with asthma and allergies is increasing. So the more we can do in our environment, the better we're all going to be.
I
Yeah,
agree.
certainly. My wife also has significant asthma and allergy, and we, by accident, stumbled into this because my mom had recently painted a bedroom, which was the bedroom we were coming to stay that day.
Yeah.
And she hadn't thought about it, and she was like, "Oh no, you might not be able to sleep in there. We'll figure something else out." But my wife was fine, and then we found out
Okay.
after the fact that she had gone to the local True Value and bought ultra premium paint, and it was not
No
knowing
way.
that it had the certification. So we pieced all that together later and went, "Oh yeah, because we slept in there and we're absolutely fine." And she just painted the room earlier in the day.
Oh, that's great.
So it's a great,
Mhm.
great story. But or for you retailers out there watching this,
Yeah.
first I have a question, why are you doing that? But you got to utilize this. This is a great
Absolutely.
asset. This is a great tool you can use to sell your product that nobody
Yeah.
else in your town has a product. I'm willing to bet that is
Yeah.
asthma and allergy.
Absolutely. And I
Right.
think as well, like one thing that will be helpful for retailers, and we've got lots of information and resources available, so we're more than happy to share this with any of the stores. But really, I think I said it again, like education is a huge part of it. So we have lots of ready to use available statistics on asthma and allergies and indoor air quality that really effectively says, this is the problem. It's getting worse. Here's how you can be part of the solution by using certified EasyCare.
So what's your website that a retailer could go to for more information?
So it's afa.org/certified.
Okay.
And that'll bring you straight to our website, gives you all the categories, give you lots more information as well.
Okay,
Perfect.
and
So
then we'll put a link
we can put a
um,
link also.
so that
and,
we'll have that there too.
and so,
Yeah.
well, Leah, we are very, very thankful that you took your time out today. You're not actually in Dublin today, but that's
Yeah.
okay. You're
No, I'm
in
coming to you live. I'm coming to you live from Austin, Texas.
Austin,
So
Texas
right.
today.
yeah,
So
I got a run done this morning. So
Oh, wow.
it's yeah. So it's
We've
good.
got our
Well,
run in today too. Yeah.
Oh, did
yeah,
you?
yeah. Well, we appreciate you.
One other thing I wanted to say to you, sorry to cut across you. So I've been on a 2-week journey around the US, meeting clients, attending trade shows, and I was at the International Builder Show and the Kitchen and Bath Industry Show in Vegas last week. And then I went straight to the Quad AI show in San Diego, which is the American Academy of Allergy, Asthma and Immunology. And that's a very kind of medical focused conference, but the certification program had a booth at that show. So we had a great display of certified product, and we had EasyCare on display. So we had so many allergists, doctors, nurses coming up to the booth, because you wouldn't see typically a product display at these shows, saying, oh, so like what's going on here? We've got bedding, we've got paint. And we were, again, educating them on, this is our certification program. Some of them knew it, which was great. But for anyone that didn't know, we're like, this is our program. Here's what we do. We independently test and certify all of these products to offer a healthier choice. Particularly the paint was getting a lot of interest, because a lot of doctors were like, paint, what's paint doing here? I'm like, well, this is a really low VOC paint. It is a better choice for people with asthma and allergies. So I will be recommending, if anyone is doing any renovation or doing any home home DIY bits that they should be making sure that they're using a certified paint. And they were like, this is amazing. And we gave away a lot of information that they could share with their patients.
Awesome.
So
Excellent.
Well, we
yeah.
appreciate that marketing.
Yes, absolutely.
Very welcome. Very welcome.
Well, Leo, we really, really appreciate you taking your time. We know you're a busy
Yeah.
person,
Mhm.
and we appreciate you spending a little time this morning with us.
Thank you so
Yeah,
much, Sean. Dan.
absolutely.
So nice to meet you. See you both.
All right.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot. Take care.
Bye.
So we're back. Gosh, that was a great interview.
Absolutely. She was
And-
delightful to
and
talk to.
Now we're international. We're international.
That's right.
And we got to work on being able to go over to Dublin. You
Yeah,
know,
that's
that
we
would be
should
fun.
do the
That
next
would be
one from
live.
overseas.
Yeah. I don't think your boss or mine would approve that expenditure, but
Maybe one day.
One day,
When we
yeah.
when we have 1 million followers,
so get everybody you know to follow us.
so that we can go to Dublin.
Yeah, if you want us out of the country, this is your chance.
There you go.
So, but I hope that interview was good for you. I hope you enjoyed it. She was very informative. She's going to give us the website. You can go to their website, and Sean's going to post that.
Yes, so that you'll be able to see it on Net Warehouse or on the YouTube channel. You'll see the
We'll
link
have
there.
that. So just a reminder, we do have a YouTube channel. I'm glad you brought that up. EasyCare, it's at EasyCare Paint. These podcasts are going to be on there. We're also putting other videos, shorter videos as we can, on different product lines that you could take and show your customers, or you could download them and put them on your TVs in your color centers too.
Absolutely, which might be a great place to help educate people, especially about this accreditation, because I think it's one of those products that people don't even realize exists.
Yep.
And so they might be not painting or putting off painting because they're not aware that there's a product that fits this need and will not
Well,
be harmful to the people in their house.
You kind of brought it up in the podcast, was
Yeah.
you bought paint because you can do it now. Otherwise, you would have waited until you could open the windows.
And I only
right?
did that because I knew it
You
existed
knew
already.
it existed, but
Yeah.
your customers in many cases don't know this. So, just to go back, quick refreshers, make sure you talk to your customer about, does anybody in their home have allergies or asthma? If so, I've got the paint for you right here. What color do you want? And then just tell them, hey, this is approved, one of the very few paints approved by the Asthma and Allergy Foundation of America to have no triggers for anybody with asthma or allergies. And,
And it's half the price of the
half
competitor.
the price of the competitor that has that, and that's how you sell that.
And it's a darn good can of paint to go along.
Damn fine can of paint.
Yes.
So, with that, don't forget, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, you want to be on, you want some ideas, shoot either myself or Sean an email. My email is dan.reed, that's dan.reed, @truevalue.com.
And mine is Sean, SEAN.Henson, HENSON, @truevalue.com.
And we'd love to hear from you if you just want to say, hi, you want to say you two really suck, whatever you want to say.
You're just lonely.
Lonely, yeah, send us an
Yeah.
email. We'd love to hear from you. We hope to see you at Market coming up. And with that, we appreciate you tuning in. Happy selling.
Happy selling.